Maurice Williamson. At forward, a 6'9" senior from Arnaudville, Louisiana. That is at center, number 32, Harold Boudreau. At forward, a 6'7" freshman from Iowa, Louisiana, number 22, Clarence Caesar. And at forward, a 6'7" senior from Natchez, Mississippi, number 24, Burnell Singleton. LSU's head coach is Dale Brown. Now from Lexington, Kentucky, the Kentucky Wildcats. At guard, a 6'2" senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 11, Sean Woods. At guard, a 6-foot senior from Manchester, Kentucky, number 32, Richie Farmer. At center, a 6'8" sophomore from Miami, Florida, number 44, Jamel Martinez. At forward, a 6'8" sophomore from New York, New York, number 24, Jamal Mashburn. And at forward, a 6'7" senior from Paintsville, Kentucky, number 34, John Pelfrey.
There you have the introduction of the starting lineups for today's game. LSU second in the SEC West. Kentucky, the Eastern Division champion. Those two coaches meeting before the game. They'll square off for real in a moment. 6 points for the Wildcats off their bench. LSU led by Anderson off the bench for 8 points. Singleton has 7, so does Williamson. And on the Kentucky side of the ledger, the game's leading point maker is John Pelfrey with 11, including that circus shot just before halftime. Martinez has 10, the only 2 in the game in double figures. No question that with every basket, LSU gained confidence in that first half.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. And not only, Tom, did it affect them offensively as they got more and more confident, I thought it really picked up their defense.
To crack the fatigue factor here in the second half for the Tigers. Hammock will start the second half for LSU along with Brandon, Williamson, Singleton, and Caesar. Hammock replacing Boudreau to start the second half. Kentucky has its starting 5 out there as Caesar hits to open the second half.
Once again, I think that's smart basketball by Clarence as he passes up the long jumper, puts it on the floor one time, and has a much easier shot.
Woods, 18-footer is no good. Caesar with a rebound. Kentucky has Mashburn, Martinez, Farmer, Pelfrey, and Woods. Williamson misses from outside. Hammock tries to save, but it was on the baseline.
Sure, the reason that Hammock is in the starting lineup for the second half was his fine work on the boards. 4 of his 6 rebounds coming on the offensive end.
LSU still has not hit a 3-point field goal. They are 0 for 9.
LSU's going to stay right in that 2-3 zone that they played most of the first half.
Martinez tried to pass it to Mashburn, but he was too close. It was jammed up in there, and LSU has the steal. Tigers up by 1. Opening minute 30 of the second half. 9 Kentucky turnovers now. Hammock on the low post, right back to Williamson. Singleton with a screen for Williamson. Off the offensive board, Singleton has his shot blocked, and Woods takes it for Kentucky. Pelfrey for Martinez, he laid it in.
Some more excellent passing on the interior by Kentucky. Pelfrey put the ball on the floor. Martinez found the seam.
He's the game's leading scorer with 12. Farmer tried to take the charge. Williamson away from him as it's blocked by Mashburn. Brandon recovers, and a foul on Kentucky's Sean Woods.
Take a look at Singleton's move around the baseline. It looked like he might have gotten fouled right here, but see, he's way underneath the backboard. He had nowhere to go anyway. And then a pretty little bounce pass by Pelfrey. Martinez gets to the glass.
Woods picking up his third foul will go out of the game, replaced by Travis Ford.
I think what you'll see from LSU, Tom, as Kentucky shows an inability this game to hit that three-pointer, all the layups that they're getting, that defense by LSU is going to start packing in more and more tightly around the basket.
Justin Anderson on for the Tigers. He led them in scoring with 8 in the first half. Pelfrey took it away from Anderson, but the ball hits out of bounds. Paul Marshall enters the LSU lineup.
Marshall, one of the heroes of last night's game. I think it was his ability to hit the free throws down the stretch that really held off Tennessee when it looked like the Volunteers were going to make a run after the fight.
In fact, Marshall was our BP best player of the game. We choose one from each team at the conclusion of the contest. BP makes a donation of $2,000 to the Southeastern Conference, which is distributed among the member schools' general scholarship fund. Singleton follows his shot as Martinez went to the floor.
What happened? Singleton and Martinez hit heads. It looks like Martinez caught Singleton's forehead right in the mouth. But we'll take another look at it on the low post. Watch Singleton make the move, and boom, right there. Singleton off the glass, and then Martinez on the floor. He follows it. But contact right here between the back of Singleton's head and the mouth of Jamel Martinez. He's checking to make sure he's got him in straight as he heads for the bench.
A shot to the chops from the head of Singleton, who follows his own miss. Martinez had only 2 points in Kentucky's loss to LSU in Baton Rouge, and he's the game's leading scorer with 12 today. Darren Feldhouse is in to replace Martinez. Feldhouse, off-balance shot, never squared up to the hoop. Brandon has it. LSU holding that 1-point lead. Brandon against Ford. Got the roll. Tigers have a 3-point lead now at 46-43.
Here comes the Kentucky crowd trying to get their players up. You know, you tell yourself you can't relax just because O'Neal's not going to play, but sometimes it's just impossible to be at that same edge to get ready to play a big game when the other team's star is gone.
LSU foul. Can you remember an instance in your playing career when that happened to you?
I can remember one time we played against the New York Nets in an ABA playoff series, and Rick Barry was gone for the Nets, not only for one game, but the whole series, and the Nets wound up beating us pretty handily in 5 games.
Kentucky trying to rally its forces, get some momentum. Certainly haven't been able to hit the threes today. Pelfrey with a pretty drive, but his shot no good. Feldhouse went way after the rebound and got it down. Plus a foul.
Well, there's not much finesse in Darren Feldhouse's game, but he comes to play. And look at this nice job, the contact after the offensive rebound. A foul by Marshall.
First basket for Feldhouse, who completes the 3-point trip. Physical player, Darren Feldhouse, just like his dad, Allen, who played for Adolph Rupp at Kentucky. We saw his dad in the hotel the other day, and they called him Horse. Looks like one still. Big, strong, strapping player. Mashburn with a steal, fronting on defense. Feldhouse has it blocked by Singleton. On the floor, Vernell scrapping with Mashburn. Mashburn controls, gets it to Ford. He dribbles out of trouble. Brown threw it away, right to Caesar. Marshall. And Brandon, after rebounding, brings it back outside.
That's a smart decision because the offense had really gotten compacted under the basket. Bring it out, start all over again.
Caesar up short, missed the tap. Third time no good. Finally, Singleton tries at it. A couple of more bats. Anderson the rebound and a foul. That shows you the dominance of the Tigers on the offensive board.
I think what happens sometimes when you have a Shaquille O'Neal, a great rebounder in there, Tommy, you let him do it all. But without him, you can tell that LSU doing a great job on the boards. Here at the other end, Kentucky really scrambling. They come up with the basketball. And here's down at the other end where LSU just plays volleyball with it. About 5 or 6 different taps. Anderson winds up with the free throw.
Missed the first one. Here's an eye-opening stat, Dan. LSU 18 offensive rebounds to 7 for Kentucky. Anderson hits 1 of 2 to break the tie. We'll take a timeout with 14:58 left in this semifinal game. LSU up by 1. LSU and Kentucky, and the Tigers playing without the college basketball player of the year, Shaquille O'Neal, leading Kentucky by 1 at 47-46, just under 15 minutes to play. There's the shooting in the second half. Very poor for both teams. That hoop will not count. Offensive foul on Kentucky. Singleton happy about taking the charge.
Singleton fired up after a great defensive play. Gets inside, matched up against Mashburn. Mashburn with good moves. You see him lower the shoulder and knock him to the ground. Singleton draws the player control foul.
Good call, and it's foul number 3 on Kentucky's leading scorer. LSU controlling the boards, of course, skewed a little bit by that 7-rebound session they had a minute ago.
One sequence.
Anderson for 3, yes.
That shot was set up by Brandon, who was able to make the penetration and draw 2 defenders to him, and Anderson is wide open.
LSU's biggest lead. Pelfrey got the roll off the back iron. That basket by Anderson, LSU's first 3-pointer in 10 attempts. Martinez cutting off Caesar in backcourt. Caesar swipes at him.
They get the ball to Brandon and just clear out and let Jamie bring it up by himself.
Brandon can't get away from Ford. Leaves Caesar open for 3, though, and it caroms out of bounds. And 1 of 11 3-point shooting now, the Tigers. Kentucky not much better.
Caesar was knocked to the ground after he released a shot, and the entire LSU bench stood up. Dale Brown very quickly turning around and telling him, settle down, sit back down.
Kentucky looking for a tie, perhaps a lead with a 3-pointer. Skip it across to Pelfrey, who fakes the 3, gives it to Ford. His tray is good. Second by Travis Ford, and only the 3rd of the game for the Wildcats.
And now Kentucky with a chance after the 3-point play, 3-point shot to really get their full-court defense set up.
Travis Ford struggled in his shooting most of the season, but has been much improved down the stretch of the campaign. Anderson tapped twice, still a loose ball. Finally, Mashburn muscles it down. Travis Ford only 38% 3-point shooting on the season. He was in the 20s most of the year. Farmer for 3.
Well, it's a different Kentucky club when they're able to hit those 3-pointers, because not only do they get 3 points instead of 2, but it gives them a little extra second to get that defense set up.
Back-to-back threes by Ford and Farmer, and Kentucky up 4. Offensive foul, Singleton against Martinez. Player control foul. Dale Brown doesn't agree. That's the 14th LSU turnover and the second on Burnell Singleton.
Well, this is the same play that Singleton and Martinez hit heads before. They almost do it again. Singleton jumping in to Martinez. And that's going to be a foul on Singleton.
David Dodge getting an earful from Dale Brown as he trotted by the LSU bench. 8-0 run for the Wildcats. Away from the basketball, a foul. See which way it's going to go. No one knows yet.
Double foul.
That's a double foul.
Martinez, second personal foul.
Martinez of Kentucky, his second personal.
Second personal foul. 14 foul against LSU.
And Justin Anderson of LSU, his second foul as well.
And the possession arrow in favor of Kentucky.
Possession
There it is.
ball dictated by the possession arrow.
Wildcats up by 4, 12-11 remaining as they look to get that three-point attack going. For Farmer short on that one. And Brandon with a rebound for LSU. Tough shot by Brandon, and Pelfrey got a piece of it. Pelfrey swiped it out of there to Ford. LSU back on defense, so he'll wait to set it up. Quickly to Martinez, though, and it's taken away by Caesar. Then Mashburn muscles it loose and scores.
Mashburn showing you his great hands. Not only does he make the steal, but the ball was up on his shoulder, and he brought it back down. He almost came away with a steal, but he's going to be called for the foul. Now watch this. Not only does Mashburn take the ball away, watch the ball gets hung up on his shoulder, and he still can control it and get it up and in the basket.
But then, if you look from another angle at that last sequence, Mashburn puts it down, but then as LSU inbounded the ball, Mashburn went for the steal, but instead was called for his fourth foul. Kentucky's percentage, but even lower than normal today. Only 25% of the trays falling for the Wildcats today. They have tried 16 of those, hitting only 4. Meanwhile, inside, they've hit 19 of 30.
But still, the difference in the game is the three-point shot. The reason Kentucky's shooting so well inside the three-point arc is that most of those shots have been dead lay-ins.
Mashburn on the bench with 4 fouls. LSU has played the entire game without leading scorer and rebounder Shaquille O'Neal. Now Kentucky faces the same dilemma with Mashburn in foul trouble.
And they've gone to the zone. Haven't seen that the entire game from Kentucky, but they've gone to the same 2-3 zone LSU's been playing.
Hammock has it knocked away and taken by Ford. 16 LSU turnovers. Wildcats up by 6. Feldhouse, 15-footer. Pelfrey trying to keep it alive. Hammock has it for LSU.
What you have to do when you're without your leading scorer is be a little more patient offensively. Look for a good shot. That's what Kentucky did that trip. Let's see if LSU does the same thing.
Marshall shot blocked by Pelfrey, who taps it to Ford. LSU has turned it over their last 2 times, and they missed their last 6 shots. Travis Ford back out to Pelfrey for the 3.
And you can see Kentucky's mentality. Everybody is looking for that three-point line. Pelfrey got the ball in the middle, kicked it back out, and then he went out and spotted up.
Kentucky with its biggest lead. The Wildcats up 9. Singleton moves for the hoop and is fouled.
Paul Marshall gets a little out of control on his baseline, and from the backside, John Pelfrey knocks it away and saves it. And there's the three-pointer down at the other end.
Pelfrey getting all the credit on that sequence. The block, the save, and the 3. Senior's having a good game. Still the zone from Kentucky, the 2-3. Singleton baseline. Williamson. Blocked by Martinez, who pulls it down. Singleton almost had the steal. They say last touch by Kentucky. It will be LSU's ball. Patino asks for a ruling. John Clarkin, he says, get back in the coaching box.
Well, Singleton definitely is the one who causes this play. You see him shoot the gap, and that's a good call. Singleton didn't touch the ball. Rick Pitino didn't think so. I'm not sure if Feldhaus touched it or not, Tom, but I know Singleton didn't, so either way, it still has to be LSU ball.
Good call, despite the reaction of Pitino, who got out of the coaching box, and then Dale Brown did too, just to even things up. Singleton inside, Feldhaus flops, Singleton scores, and a foul.
Well, that's a good description because that's exactly what happened. Not nearly as much contact as Feldhaus is going to lead you to believe there was. He falls on the floor, and then Pelfrey from the backside gets the foul, and Singleton's got a chance for the three-point play.
Senior Vernell Singleton, figured to be one of the guys that would have to have a good game for the Tigers to win. And he has 12 points on that three-point play as the Tigers fall back within 6. LSU in a zone defense, 2-3. Pelfrey nowhere to go with it. Got it to Feldhaus. He tries the three and connects. His first three-pointer of the game. Kentucky starting to heat it up from the three-point line as they reclaim a 9-point lead. They're 6 of 18 now, three-point shooting. Averaging 9 three-point baskets a game. Anderson answers for LSU.
Good ball movement by the Tigers that time. It went inside, and then when the zone collapsed, back outside to the wide-open Justin Anderson.
Tigers' second three-pointer of the game. Armour calling for the ball on the wing. Instead, they get it in the middle of the defense to Feldhaus, who is fouled as he goes for the basket by Anderson. That'll be 3 on Justin Anderson.
Fouls on number 24, Vernell Singleton.
They call the foul on Singleton.
Goes against Singleton. Good passing by Pelfrey as he jammed the ball inside the Feldhaus. The Tigers almost came away with the steal, but Singleton called for the foul.
Third on Vernell and the 5th against LSU. Kentucky's already over the limit. In the ACC tournament, top-ranked Duke putting it on Georgia Tech at halftime, 43-25. In the Big East, Seton Hall leading Syracuse at halftime by 9. Feldhaus sinks 2. He has 8 points in the game. The Kentucky lead goes to 8. Well, one thing for sure, LSU has proven they can play without Shaquille. Singleton, quick move on Martinez. Missed the shot, tapped it once. Battle for it, out of bounds to Kentucky off Justin Anderson.
Not only can they play, Tom, but they can dominate the offensive boards. It's unbelievable how many second chance opportunities the Tigers have had without O'Neal this afternoon.
Dale Brown questioning that last call, which awarded Kentucky the ball, and the Wildcats leading by 8. Champion of the regular season, Arkansas, should be a great game. As we noted earlier, the 2 regular season contests, 2 of the best games in the college game all season long. LSU dominating the boards, out-rebounding Kentucky 40-26. The problem is LSU can't hit the basket, 37% shooting.
And in the final analysis, no matter how well you play the other phases of the game, you still have to put the ball in the basket, and that's what's hurting LSU right now.
Is Kentucky taking advantage of the absence of O'Neal? They've gotten 38 points from their front court players. LSU only 27. Martinez, 2 more for the front court, and Martinez having one of his best games after only scoring 2 against LSU with O'Neal in the lineup. He has 14 this afternoon. First double-digit lead. You see fatigue playing a part now, Dan, maybe in the poor shooting. There's Anderson with a three.
That's a good point. That's exactly what might be causing it. But I think the last couple of minutes going to this zone defense has really taken the Tigers by surprise, and they're not ready to handle that.
Anderson has hit the threes on a couple of possessions recently. Farmer's been pretty quiet today. Used the left hand to get that one through. He's ambidextrous, and he used the left hand to good advantage there.
And with this lead and the fact that their star, Jamal Mashburn, is on the bench, Kentucky pretty patient right now offensively.
Singleton against Martinez. Quick spin and a foul. Martinez hand checked him and was whistled for the foul.
Go back and look at that drive by Farmer. The side is cleared. Martinez kind of walls off the defense. Farmer goes all the way to the basket. Going to see the foul, the push, the knee right there by Martinez.
That foul on Martinez is number 3. Brunell Singleton has 12 points this afternoon, averages 14 a game. What do you think Singleton's chances are of playing in the NBA?
Well, I think he's going to have to play small forward, Tom. So to be able to play at the next level, I think he's going to have to develop a little more of an outside game, at least being able to hit the 15 to 18-foot jump shot.
I said this last night, and I really believe it, though. On the college game, he is a legitimate first-rate player.
No question about it.
Kentucky trying to run a little clock here, looks like, Dan, with 5:58 showing and a foul as Feldhaus makes a move.
Well, they're up by 7, and Mashburn's on the bench with the 4 personal fouls. And so it would make sense to take some time off the clock. You look at LSU's field goal percentage, their season average, they're almost 50% today, under 38%.
And you see what O'Neal contributes to that, nearly 62% shooting. Let's take a break to hear a word from Pepsi.
The largest crowd.
Today, Pepsi announced a new slogan. Mere words? Or is the taste of Pepsi so big, America's really got to have it?
Gotta have it. It's something I felt for years, but never had the words to express.
If it's so popular, how come everybody's drinking it?
And 17,689 turning out today. The largest crowd to see a basketball game in the state of Alabama. And they've seen a good one from a gallant LSU team that has hung right with Kentucky most of the way. Now trailing by 7, just under 6 minutes left.
Well, you could really feel this one coming. Dale Brown, one of the greatest motivators in college basketball, and you knew that he was going to make the best he could out of this situation. And I think his players have responded.
Kentucky will shoot the bonus on the next LSU foul. Again, they're taking some time off the clock. Feldhaus fakes one way, gets it back the other. And the shot clock. We're showing 20 seconds.
Sure, Patino would like to get the clock down to about 4.5 minutes before he comes back in with Mashburn, but strategy kind of backfires on him as Kentucky turns the ball over.
Ford saw it bounce off his knee and out of bounds, so they hold it for nearly 40 seconds and then turn it over without a shot. Brandon easily beats the half-hearted backcourt pressure, and Kentucky falls back in the zone. Off Boudreau, Kentucky's ball. 17th LSU turnover. That sequence right in front of Nolan Richardson sitting at the scorer's table.
And Feldhaus says, what about the foul? You see Boudreau practically knocking Feldhaus under the press table, coming out. No foul, just simply Kentucky's ball.
Now under 5 minutes to play. 17 LSU turnovers today. Kentucky has converted 14 of those into points. There's 14 points off those turnovers. LSU, as you saw, actually had outscored Kentucky in points off turnovers, even though they've made more miscues. Anderson gave Feldhaus a pretty good bump as Feldhaus set the pick. That'll be a foul on Justin Anderson, and Darren Feldhaus will shoot 1+1.
Be able to watch Feldhaus setting the screen right here at the top of the key, and watch Anderson when Farmer dribbles over the top with the elbow right in Feldhaus's neck.
Yeah, he did. I didn't see that initially, but he got him with an elbow on the neck. Wow. In light of last night's incident, that causes a few eyebrows to raise.
And now the officials will take another look at it. Ooh, that's nasty. The officials have sent both teams to the bench, and they're going to have a discussion, try and get this thing sorted out.
Well, there was no call for that whatsoever. I don't know.
And anytime you get an elbow as high as Anderson has his elbow here, you would have to think, Tom, that that's pretty intentional. See Anderson going over the screen.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't inadvertent. No way. Well, David Dodge at the scorer's table. And it gives us a chance to collect ourselves as we take a break for a message from your local station.
Many of you are now being asked to trust your business to banks that stretch over many states.
So we think it's important that you know you have a choice.
People at First American who make decisions about your banking opportunities are your neighbors.
We believe in Middle Tennessee. Our homes and families are here like yours.
You do have a choice, and we'd like to be it.
But Mr. Crook, what about that security blanket?
And those guys with their total satisfaction guarantee.
President. That last incident.
And you can see Anderson glancing over, aware that Feldhaus is there. The elbow comes up pretty high. Feldhaus will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Third foul committed by Justin Anderson. But nobody squared off. No fights even came close to starting, which is what we would hope to see. 1+1 for Feldhaus. Normally, Kentucky gets about 64% of its points from the front court. Today, in the absence of O'Neal, about 71% have come inside.
And that's been with Mashburn on the bench the last 5 or 6 minutes because of foul trouble. A kick on Feldhaus, and still Patino hasn't gone to Mashburn. He's on the bench, 4:40 to go in the game. Kentucky leading by 9.
Vernell Singleton double teamed as Pelfrey comes to help. Back to Marshall for the 3. Paul Marshall hits a 3-pointer to get LSU back. They're within 6.
Well, Marshall was the hero of last night's game. Can he do it again?
Brandon takes it away from Ford. Jamie Brandon fouled by Ford. LSU coming with a flurry here, trying to get right back in it.
Take another look at the steal as Jamie Brandon's going to pick Travis Ford from the backside. Cook takes him a while to find the handle, and Ford catches up at the foul with the body, and Brandon will have 2 free throws.
Feldhaus out of the game as Rick Pitino has come back with 2 regulars, Sean Woods and Jamal Mashburn, playing with 4 fouls. Brandon will try one more. Missed them both, and Pelfrey with a rebound. Oh, they needed those, and of course the free throw shooting woes of LSU have been well documented. 10th in the SEC at 62.5 during the regular season. Floater by Farmer off the glass. Kentucky's lead is 8.
Now LSU's going to have to go at it in a hurry.
Caesar misses a 3, but there's Singleton for the offensive board. 3:30 left. Brandon, a three-pointer. Came up short. Martinez with a rebound. Caesar nearly slapped it away. Nearly got it the second time. And he has quick hands.
He really does. He's unbelievable. Quick hands and quick feet. See if Kentucky doesn't look for Mashburn now at the end of the game.
Farmer gets it to Mashburn. Good call, Dan. Mashburn gets it quickly down. 12 for Mashburn, the lead 10. Marshall, and he didn't have to take it that quickly, the three-pointer, and Mashburn is fouled as he comes down with a rebound. And now Mashburn and Anderson with a few words.
Well, I think that might be a little reaction by Mashburn to the elbow that Anderson threw at Feldhouse earlier on. Sean Woods trying to step in and cool everybody down.
Well, Mashburn doesn't need to be saying anything about it. Here's Caesar trying to get that ball and nearly succeeding against Martinez.
A quick outside shot, as you said, by Marshall. Mashburn climbs high. And the foul by Anderson.
Well, Mashburn needs to just keep his mouth shut. He wasn't even involved in that earlier incident. Justin Anderson's fourth foul. It's interesting to see Sean Woods as the peacemaker talking to Anderson. He was thrown out of the Wildcats last regular season game for fighting with Jay Price.
Maybe Sean learned his lesson there, and a miss by Mashburn, down by 10. LSU needs some quick buckets.
It was Anderson that had the rebound. Marshall again with a quick three, and this one bottoms out.
Tommy, he only had 7 3-pointers for the season coming into this game, but the young man steps up and hits 2 big ones here at the end.
Kentucky's lead cut to 7. LSU's hit 5 of 18 3-pointers. Pelfrey being guarded by Anderson. Well, Farmer checked by Marshall. Ashton made a good catch. That pass was sailing behind him.
LSU out in the man-to-man, putting a little extra pressure on the Wildcats.
Shot clock to 8.
Caesar almost got another one.
Farmer nearly tied up. It is. Jump ball. Possession arrow will award it to LSU. 15th Kentucky turnover.
Now the adrenaline starts to flow a little bit, and you forget about the fatigue factor. The Tigers really up and tough defensively.
1:45 as you see and counting. Baseline drive. Anderson cut off, flips it outside. Caesar for 3. Clarence Caesar. They say now just a 2-point shot. His foot was on the line.
He did step inside, but it looked like he backed up. Let's take another look at it. You see he does step inside, but he backs up. That should have been a 3-pointer. You can see the wood between his foot and the line.
Daylight showing between the stripe and his foot, and Dale's got a case. That should have been a 3-pointer. Here it is, frozen for you, definitely behind the arc.
I think the thing that might have confused the official, Tom, was the fact that he did step inside the line and then step back to shoot the ball.
Woods on the subsequent foul hits the free throw, and Kentucky now is converted 12 of 17 at the free throw line. They lead it by 7. Caesar, that's a 3, and it's short. Pelfrey dribbles away from Marshall, gets it to Martinez. They'll work the clock with 1:15, and Marshall commits a quick foul. That'll send John Pelfrey to the line, a good free throw shooter at about 76%.
That's all that Kentucky has on the floor right now are good free throw shooters. Surprisingly, the weakest free throw shooter percentage-wise is the point guard, Sean Woods.
Pelfrey has hit 3 of 4 at the line today. LSU at 69 points. If Kentucky wins, that's just about what they allow on the average.
Pretty good day's work for John Pelfrey.
We'll have one more free throw. That was the 10th foul on LSU. Darren Feldhaus replacing Martinez. Pelfrey misses 2 free throws. The lead still 7 with 1:10.
That leaves the door wide open. If LSU can get down a quick basket, doesn't necessarily have to be a 3.
Marshall misses the 3, though, and it's Mashburn on the rebound. Looking for some help, he finds Farmer. And Farmer fouled on the reach-in by Marshall with 54.3 seconds left.
In a case like that, Tom, you're going to have to score at least 3 times anyway. Kentucky's up playing the 3-pointer. Go ahead and take the quick 2-pointer.
And Richie Farmer will go to the line. In a similar situation in Starkville against Mississippi State, Kentucky couldn't hit a free throw down the stretch except for Richie Farmer, who was able to connect and preserve the win for the Wildcats.
And right on cue.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky, you know. When he's approaching his average. Richie 6'2". Kentucky with a 9-point lead. Now LSU needs the 3s. Anderson, though, takes it all the way to the basket, and Wood slapped it out of bounds.
With 49 seconds to go, Tigers don't figure to get too many possessions. You're exactly right. Now they have to take the 3-pointer.
And Anderson's wide open. Somebody forgot him in the shuffle. They call a timeout at 45.7. They left Anderson, an excellent 3-point shooter, wide open, and he pulled the Tigers within 6 by hitting that tray.
Power, BC Power. By Gillette and the revolutionary Gillette Sensor Razor Shaving System. Gillette, the best a man can get. And by Pepsi. Gotta have it.
Kentucky's defense caught asleep on that last play.
Yeah, this is the last man you want to leave wide open. He's a 48% 3-point shooter. The Wildcats lose him. He's hit 4 of 5 today, has Justin Anderson. And the LSU Tigers fired up. They're still in this one.
Stopping the clock with 45.7 seconds, and Kentucky leading by 6. And LSU will apply the full court pressure. Playing without the suspended Shaquille O'Neal after being ejected for fighting in the game against Tennessee. Started slowly, but proved they can play without him. Pelfrey gets the long pass and is fouled by Piku. The ball almost went in.
Good play designed by Rick Pitino. He knows that LSU is going to come out and foul as quickly as possible, so he runs Pelfrey out. Mashburn hit him. Piku got back just in time to foul him before Pelfrey was attempting the shot.
Dale Brown making some situational substitutions now as Piku, who committed the foul, goes out, replaced by the shooter, Justin Anderson, who returns. Pelfrey hits the free throw. Misses the second, and Anderson has the rebound. Justin Anderson has had one of the best games of the season tonight. Air ball from Caesar on a quick 3-point attempt. And the defensive team comes back in, Williamson and Piku.
Really makes it tough when you have to have 3-pointers, because that time Kentucky didn't have a defender inside the 3-point line. They were going to give up the 2-pointer.
Farmer is fouled by Brandon. Kentucky has hit 14 of 22 free throws in the game.
About the only thing Dale can do now is to foul and hope he gets some misses.
That was one off, 15 of 23 at the line.
Math never was one of your strong points.
We had to point that out, although it should have been obvious. Richie shooting for double figures. Kentucky finally got the 3-point shooting on track in the second half after going 2 for 13 in the first half. In the second half, 4 of 5 3-point shooting.
What's wrong right here?
Farmer misses the free throw. Caesar with the rebound. The lead is 8. Marshall, three-pointer. Woods running for his life. And Caesar with that quickness again with a steal and a jam.
Boy, is he going to be something special, Tom. I think right now, the only thing that you can talk about Caesar is he really doesn't have a good shot selection, but defensively, he has great quickness.
And the game will come to an end with Kentucky dribbling out the clock. And the Wildcats will move into the final game tomorrow. Dale Brown and Rick Pitino at center court. Dale had his Tigers ready. They had a gallant effort without the dominance of Shaquille O'Neal. They gave